NBC5 Responds is sharing the story of a local Vietnam veteran.
Yes, for years, he has tried accessing his military benefits, but the family says that his dishonorable discharge is complicating their efforts. But the family believes that he's lived a lifetime with post-traumatic stress disorder, and they want him to get the care they say he deserves.
Now, some 5 decades after returning from the war zone, the family is sharing their experience in the hopes the military will take another look. Here's Deanna Zoga.
He has to have somebody with him at all times.
With help from his wife Barbara and other family, 77-year-old Steve Ballou manages his care at home.
He's fallen a lot where I have to pick him up, you know.
I can't stand any time, and it really makes it hard on her and me both.
Diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, Ballou says he wasn't able to access full military health care benefits. He pointed to his undesirable discharge from the Marines in 1970.
I've never believed his discharge was right. I've always told him that he should have got a medical discharge.
According to military records the family shared with NBC5 Responds,
I got my finger mashed off.
Ballou was first hospitalized after losing part of his finger during combat in Vietnam, then later sent to a U.S. Naval hospital in Japan after suffering nightmares.
I was having these nightmares so bad that they was afraid that I was going to shoot some of them or myself, you know, and they was the one that requested me to leave, you know, and so that's what I did.
The military sent Ballou back to the U.S. on limited duty. According to the records, his military career ended after leaving base without permission for 5 months. The records say Ballou agreed to an undesirable discharge in 1970 to avoid court-martial. He was 23 years old at the time. Barbara believes Steve suffered from PTSD. Back then, it wasn't recognized as a diagnosis. Not until 1980.
One time he thought the house was burning down and he picked me up and then grabbed the other 3 kids in his arms and was going to run out of the house because the house was burning.
The Ballous told us they recall verbally asking about veterans' benefits in the past. They say they didn't apply because of the other than honorable discharge.
The more I've seen his situation, the more it hurt my heart. And it got personal.
Ballou's son-in-law, Steve Bunker, also a veteran, asked the Veteran Benefits Administration to review Ballou's records and determine if he's eligible. Last fall, the family connected with NBC5 Responds as Ballou's health worsened.
And I knew that his time was running out, the stage that he's at.
We asked the Department of Veterans Affairs about Ballou's request. The VA responded and said after an expedited review, Ballou would receive health care benefits for a handful of conditions connected to military service, including Parkinson's and PTSD. When it came to compensation benefits, the VA says Ballou wasn't eligible because of his discharge status. It encouraged him to continue to work through the military to request a change. Generally, the VA says it can review records of a service member with an other than honorable discharge to determine if the VA can provide benefits. It can't change the military's discharge characterization. For that, a service member would have to go to a military board and apply for a discharge upgrade. Even if you haven't served in the military, you may recognize the terms honorable or dishonorable discharge. There are additional characterizations, including other than honorable, or as it used to be called, undesirable. An other than honorable discharge, sometimes referred to by vets as bad paper, can prevent a service member from accessing the full range of benefits from certain health care to loan programs. It's an administrative discharge that does not involve a court-martial, so misconduct wouldn't have been proven in military court.
There is this huge range where service members are lumped together as receiving these bad paper discharges, where some have done things that are really very, very bad, and some are things that, if it happened in the civilian world, wouldn't be punished at all.
Attorney Dana Montalto is with the Veterans Legal Clinic at Harvard Law School. She's not directly involved in Ballou's case. Montalto works with veterans asking the military to change their discharge characterization, some on the basis of a mental health condition, traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, or discrimination.
This new initiative
This past September, the Department of Defense announced it would proactively look for upgrade-eligible vets discharged under the now repealed Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. Montalto says it's an example of the kind of outreach she says is needed to help vets in need of a meaningful review of their less than honorable discharges.
So you could imagine them doing something like that in a broader context around mental health or racial discrimination.
When we met the Ballou family, they'd already asked the military to consider Ballou's PTSD symptoms and upgrade his discharge. In response to their application, the family says the military provided this advisory opinion written by a psychologist to the Board for Correction of Naval Records. The psychologist writes that Ballou's records show evidence of mental health conditions exacerbated by military service, but it's not enough to attribute the misconduct, unauthorized absence, to a mental health condition. The letter says in 1969, Ballou told the military he'd had nightmares since he was a teenager. It also says Ballou had a history of unauthorized absences, or UA, before seeing combat. Ballou's family says the pre-combat UA happened when Steve left to financially support his dad, a double amputee.
Regardless of everything that happened in the first or the second paragraph, they still choose to send him to Vietnam in September of 1968. He didn't come back the same as he did when he left. And the people who knew him prior to that can attest to that. For the Ballou's case, the Department of Defense referred NBC5 Response to the Navy, which said a review is ongoing.
A few weeks after our interview with the Ballou's, Steve Ballou passed away. His family wanted a military burial. They again asked the BCNR to upgrade Ballou's discharge status, this time with help from an attorney taking their case for free.
Kind of the last-ditch efforts that we had to try to get him expeditiously upgraded so that he could be buried in a veteran's cemetery.
December 18th, the Board for Correction of Naval Records denied Ballou's discharge upgrade, saying in part the board considered factors like Ballou's company commander in the Marines, describing him as a very hardworking, conscientious Marine, but that the length of Ballou's unauthorized absences could only be characterized as undesirable.
The family laid Steve Ballou to rest here at a public cemetery in Ranger, Texas, following the BCNR's decision to uphold the original discharge.
It cut him out of the GI Bill. It cut him out of all medical care until the very last year of his life, when the VA finally said, this is service-connected, so we'll give you care, but no money. And then even at the time of his death, he couldn't be buried. So the only person who was hurt here was him. And I feel like we're still hurting him because of it.
Attorney Margaret Kuzma says she'll help the Ballous try again.
Any human being that has stepped their foot on foreign soil and had bullets flying at their head deserves whatever care they got coming.
The family says they plan to press on with Ballou's final wish, that vets like him shouldn't have to settle for less than honorable. Deanna Zoga, NBC5 Responds.
A Navy spokesperson told NBC5 Responds by email they could not comment on Steve Ballou's case for privacy reasons and referred us to the letter the Ballous shared from the Board for Correction of Naval Records. The Legal Services Center of Harvard Law School connected the Ballou family with their attorney. On NBCDFW.com/response, we are sharing resources for veterans, including self-help guides for applying for benefits or discharge upgrade.